Alright, good day, guys. Chidiban here once again. I'm actually here to introduce my work, that I posted yesterday on Facebook, requesting that online marketers, social media marketers who can market this work should indicate so that we can talk business. Because this is really a great material that I think that is needed not just in Nigeria but Africa, given the state of our institutions today. Because for any country to move in, then entrepreneurship is key. And for you to become an entrepreneur, you need to understand the rudiments of entrepreneurship. And this material that I've put together, which I actually used during my 30 days program with West African Engineering Plant, having to do with students or trainees sent from NCDMB through WAIP to my company to train. So this material was actually used for those trainees, and I found out that this material is very rich. Not even during when I was developing the material, but during the training. And after the training, I've discovered that this is the material that anyone that needs to go into business or that's already in business needs to have, because we covered a lot as long as business is concerned. I want to let you understand that for you to really to do real business, because business is not just about making money. You may make money for a while, according to Peter Drucker, but if you don't have a good management system, the business will not survive. Don't forget, there are changing times, or times changes. And as times, change, definitely the good management system you have will determine if you can adapt to it. And I can tell you, a lot of people doing business, some of them doing business online, do not have a good business system. They are just leveraging the digital, instrumentality to do business, which is not bad to make money. But for you to really say, I have a business, and a business, of course, that can outlive you, you need to have a good system in place. And that's what I've come to talk to you about today. So as a matter of fact, I want to do a detailed rundown of what these materials, look like. That's what I want to do today. First of all, you need to know that this material is captioned Entrepreneurship Development and Business Management. Entrepreneurship Development and Business Management. And it's actually in 6 phases. And I tell you, these 6 phases have over 20 courses, or you can call them models, that I've put together to help any business person, whether you are about to go into business or you're already in business, for you to be able to know exactly what you need, to put together as a business person or as an intending business person. So I'll kick off right now. The first is what I call building entrepreneurial capacity. Building entrepreneurial capacity, and I'll take it from this perspective. Capacity simply means what a person contains, or what a thing contains, which determines how much it can give. And remember that there's always a saying that goes this way: no man can give what he does not or she does not have. So for you to become an entrepreneur, you need to build that capacity for entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is simply the ability to foresee opportunity where there is a need, and then to take advantage of that opportunity by being able to mobilize all the necessary resources, after you found an idea which is a solution to that need, and then to solve that particular need or to solve that particular problem. That's what entrepreneurship is. But you need to build the capacity. You need to have the capacity first of all. And that capacity runs through finding your identity, first of all, as an individual. And I'm going to run you through the various perspectives of causes or models that we have under building entrepreneurial capacity. Okay, the first is temperament checklist, which has to do with finding your inborn tendencies, finding your traits, being able to identify what makes you different from others, why you act in a certain way and others act in other ways. Being able to find out that, because that's going to help you in knowing how to chart your entrepreneurial course. So that is one. Okay, that's the first course under building entrepreneurial capacity, and there you're going to be learning about your temperament. Okay, the second is the traits approach of leadership. Traits approach of leadership. Here you're going to be learning about the traits of leaders, the supposed traits of leaders. There's always been the view that leaders are born. Yes, to an extent, what it means is that there are certain identities, okay, of a leader, as it is said. But over the years, research has been able to help us to understand that we can move away from just leader, talking about the positional thing, to leadership, talking about the manifestations of these attributes. And it is now known that leadership actually now goes more circumstantial than just talking about an identity. For instance, that the leader is someone who has confidence. Okay, there are some persons that exude so much confidence naturally, but we have been able to, by knowledge, find out that it's not enough to exude so much confidence, but what is coming alongside with the confidence. So some confidence could be an empty confidence. So here you're going to be learning those key traits of a leader, and that's what traits approach of leadership talks about. And the third one quickly is what I call entrepreneurs stress management skills. Here you're going to develop, get to learn about the right skills to manage stress. It is not just a natural thing. It's something you need to learn. Like, for instance, when people say I have stress and I have the ability to manage stress, how do you come about that? How did you get to know that you have the ability to manage stress? What have you learned about stress management? What have you learned about what actually imposes stress? What have you learned about stressors? What have you learned about distress? What have you learned about eustress? Because basically, every human needs a measure of stress to be able to work. Your brain needs to be agitated for you to be able to do work. Else, you cannot work. But that is within the level of eustress. But when the demands on you, on your ability to deliver goes beyond you can handle, goes beyond it is required, then it becomes distress. Here you're going to learn about that. Going to learn about stresses. Going to learn about circumstances that poses stress, on you, on your faculties, basically. And then how you can manage them, what you can do. All right. And then the fourth one is time management skill for an entrepreneur. A lot of people do not understand that time, according to Peter Drucker, is one of the greatest resources, and you need to learn how to manage time. In one of my materials and my lectures, I used to talk about the quadrants. The quadrant, in regards to time, talks about the various techniques on how you can manage stress. In fact, one of them, to just give you a secret, is the ability to delegate those functions that are not too crucial, that you cannot manage, you cannot handle at a particular time while you're handling the most crucial. You can delegate them, but there are other factors that goes alongside with that, which I cannot talk about now. But just know that the fourth cause or model on building entrepreneurial capacity is ability to manage time. Now you can see that building capacity is a lot to know. There's a lot to know about building capacity. It's not just what people think about capacity, but that is what I'm showing to you right now. You must be able to build good time management skills. That's the fourth model. And the fifth one is professional ethics for an entrepreneur. You cannot be a very successful entrepreneur You can't be, a future great entrepreneur without good business ethics. And here you're going to be learning about what ethics truly is. You're going to learn about, the ethical principles, need for ethics, why people act unethically, ethical dilemma, and a lot of other, highlights here on the professional ethics for an entrepreneur. And quickly, the sixth one is the entrepreneur's talent management skills. You must understand that every entrepreneur needs to understand what it means to manage talent. This is part of what you learn under what is called change management. Talent management is simply about the ability, to discover talents at the entry level and to be able to retain them through proper development, and then secondly, good motivation. It is one thing to give the right development, which is called drivers, but it's another thing to give motivation, which is called enablers. Meaning that a man that has the right expertise, that has developed the right expertise, but do not have motivation, is not happy, is not psychologically okay, will not still deliver, quality to any organization. So when an entrepreneur understands the place of not just development but motivation, then it becomes possible to manage people, whether they are independent or salary employees, as you come in contact with them, or even partners. So that is it. And then the next here talks about working in teams. And of course, teamwork is one of those things we refer to as the high performance models of work systems. In fact, the age we are in now is such an era that teamwork is very crucial. Teamwork is very important and very vital and cannot be relegated to the background. So teamwork is key. And of course, what are we talking about? We're simply trying to say that a person would chase just 1,000 and then two will chase 10,000, which means you can achieve 10,000 when you're two, but when you're just you alone, you can achieve 1,000. So working in team is one of those high performance models of work system, and you're going to be learning so much about team here. Let me just give you a little secret again about teamwork. It has to do with a combination of skills, a combination of attitude, a combination of knowledge, that is put together on the base of bond to achieve a great and a common goal, which one person alone cannot make possible. You can see how beautiful, teamwork is, and that's what we're going to be learning. You can see you're building capacity on how to work in team. You're building capacity on understanding how important teamwork is. And that is what we're talking about when we're talking about building entrepreneurial capacity. That is simply the seventh thing you need to know. And then the eighth one, which is the last here under building entrepreneurial capacity, is what I refer to as the entrepreneur's emotional intelligence. In fact, research has proven that people that have built technical competence, or built their intelligence quotient without emotional intelligence, are likely to fail. Whereas people that have built emotional intelligence are likely going to succeed more than those who have just built the emotional quotient. And if you look at that, that's true. Like for instance, today, you can find some persons that you say, this guy is so intelligent, but why is he not doing anything reasonable now? Something is lacking. He lacks emotional, or she lacks emotional intelligence. And quickly, what's emotional intelligence? It is the ability to manage yourself, meaning to manage your emotions and then to manage your relationships. And you can agree with me that you can't do anything in life without people. And if you must relate with people and achieve a great goal in life, then you need to understand how to manage your feelings. Feelings are unreasonable. That is what it is. And because they're unreasonable, they could cause you some calamities. In fact, I was in one of my clients' office sometime last year. And while I was there, a young girl who is actually a cleaner to the company, was asked to do something and she didn't do it. And the safety officer, tried to talk to her, and then she was angry, and the thing got to the HR. And later on, the safety officer came to address her politely and quietly, and she started yelling, yelling and screaming at the safety officer. And the HR heard it and came out and asked that her uniform be taken from her, and that she should walk through the gate and leave and not come back again. I wouldn't know what their basis for employment is. We understand that based on the Labor Act, dismissal, in certain manners may not be accepted. But looking at her action could also be referred to as sabotage. However, that is not the issue. The issue here is the fact that her lack of emotional intelligence actually earned her a dismissal from that business. And when I discussed with the HR later on, the HR actually told me that girl has been given the liberty to go to school. She's actually in school in her institution while she works there, which means the day she has lectures, she's free to go. And nobody stops her. Look at the great opportunity or privilege that she actually lost because of lack of emotional intelligence. So here, you are going to be learning about emotional intelligence, because this is actually what you need to know as long as building entrepreneurial capacity is concerned. These are 8 wonderful models that anybody needs as long as you want to become an entrepreneur. However, that is not the end. I am going to the second phase of this great course, this great business guide called Entrepreneurial Development and Business Management. Stay tuned. My name is Chidi Ben. Bye.